Let's see, a little bit about myself. My name is Liz R. And I used to live in Colorado. I now live in Michigan. And Comeback Yoga has allowed me the opportunity to broadcast here from Michigan every Friday and do a yoga class. And I've been doing this for, we are getting really close to 2 years now. If we haven't hit that 2 year mark, we're right around there. I'm trying to remember. And I got my teaching certification in 2020, and knew that Comeback Yoga was, the organization I wanted to teach for. So applied for them right away and started teaching, and recently started going to in-person classes here in Michigan. Really enjoying that. It's been a really long time since I had done that. Um, and my goal is to just kind of stay consistent with my yoga practice outside of this class. I'm pretty consistent with this class. I'm here almost every Friday for 2 years, except for the days that I really cannot be here and schedule them off. But with my personal yoga practice, it's not as consistent, maybe. I'll have months where I'm going 3 days a week, all month long, 3 to 5 days a week, all month long. And then I'll have months like the last 3 weeks where I haven't gone to class but for twice. So, it can be a little consistent. In the summertime, it's tough. It's tough to focus on going, being consistent, setting a schedule, not deviating. The days get longer, it's warmer out. You want to be outside. So I just have to remember for myself that the consistency is what makes the goal achievable. So my goal is to get a little stronger every time I do yoga, and I was really working on that goal and working very hard. And now I have to go back and get a little stronger each time I do yoga. Um, so that's my personal goal. And every practice I set a little intention, maybe. So for example, like being a little bit stronger after class than I was before. For today, I'm going to be a little bit more grounded after class than I was at the start. I'm a little flighty at the moment. It happens on Friday mornings. I'm getting a little excited for the weekend. I've got some big events coming up in my life, so just getting excited about things, and it helps to kind of just take a breath and ground back down, and just remember that finding peace and serenity, moments of peace and serenity throughout your week, throughout the day, is what helps you reconnect with yourself. And it's self care just as much as anything else is. So, yeah, that's what we're going to be working on today together. So, we'll be working on grounding. So, we're going to be working on the ground, like I said at the beginning class. And then we're going to move into a standing position. We're going to do some balancing, which is basically the opposite of grounding, but we'll work on some like grounding poses and some balancing poses so we get that kind of um, connectivity, and then lightweightness, lightweightness. Anyway, lift, let's say. Um, little grounding, little lift, little grounding, little lift, and then we'll work our way back down onto the ground. And any part of today's practice that doesn't feel good for you and your body, you can just skip it. You can do something else, or you can do nothing. That is completely entirely up to you. You drive this practice as much as I do. I'm only here to provide you with some suggestions of how to stretch your body. Um, one of the things that I love about yoga is it gives us a chance to kind of return to a childlike version of ourselves, where we can try something, and if it doesn't work, we can just let it go. Maybe we come back to it later, try again. And if we keep practicing, generally we will get better at it. So if you're not perfect at a thing, don't quit. Um, Remember what it's like to be a kid. You weren't perfect at walking when you tried. You weren't perfect the first time you tried writing your name. So these are all things you've learned how to do over a long period of time. So if this is your first time with yoga, don't get frustrated if your body doesn't do the things you want it to. If you keep doing yoga consistently, it'll eventually get there. And you'll be able to do the types of stretching and stretch your body in a way that works for you. Um, Yoga looks very different in your body than it does in mine, and in my body than it does in everybody else's. So just know that yoga is a very personal practice, and it doesn't have to look the same everywhere. Try to focus on connectivity within your own um, body, So think about how your alignment um, helps increase the ability to kind of create strength in your muscles. Kind of consider that as we're moving through these poses. So here we are coming right into the top of the hour. So if you haven't taken a seat yet, go ahead and take a seat on the floor. Get yourself comfortable. Let's start to align our body for our foundational pose, for our foundational seated pose. So for me this morning, this feels really good. A lot of birds outside this morning. Sorry, got a little bird distracted. It feels really good for me to have my hips a little higher up than my knees when I'm in a seated position. It also helps me to expand the front part of my body so that I can breathe more deeply. And it helps me kind of keep my spine very straight as I align my shoulders over my hips. I'll engage my core. So go ahead and give that a shot. So align your shoulders over your hips. Maybe you need to lean back a little bit. Maybe you need to lean forward. And then pull your belly button in towards your spine. Really make a long, tall spine. Kind of your head points up towards the ceiling. Take a big breath here. Big, big inhale and big exhale through your mouth. One more time, big old inhale here. Through your nose, exhale through your mouth. And then let's just seal our lips, bringing our tongue away from the roof of your mouth. Go ahead and just inhale deeply and exhale deeply through your nose. Let's do that one more time. Inhale and exhale through your nose. Maybe make a sound like a wave on a beach this time. And allow your shoulders to kind of melt away from your ears. If you feel comfortable with it, you can close your eyes here. Let's just take a couple of breaths as we settle in and start our practice this morning. So we're going to start our practice by working from the top of our body down to the bottoms of our body. So as we're in a seated position, we'll work on our head and neck first, and then our shoulders, and then our arms, and our side bodies, and our front bodies. So we're going to do some head and neck stretches first. So let's, with our breath, inhale, you're going to look up toward the ceiling, dropping your shoulders away from your ears, keeping that nice tall body positioning, foundational seated position. Look up towards the ceiling. Exhale, look, bringing your chin to your chest, looking down towards the floor. Exhale all the way out. Inhale, look back up towards the ceiling. So you're making a really slow yes. Exhale, looking down towards the ground, staying straight, engaged through your core. Shoulders are over your hips in the seated position. Inhale, looking up toward the ceiling. Exhale, looking down toward the ground. And as we're doing a very slow nodding position here, let's maybe find a little affirmation for ourselves, like say yes to something. My affirmation this morning, I'm going to say yes to all the good opportunities that are coming my way today. Yes, I am going to keep a good attitude despite everybody else's attitudes today. And yes, I'm going to keep an eye out in nature for things I haven't seen before. So maybe we take a couple of those. Remember to keep your shoulders nice and far away from your ears, drop down, right? Engage through your core, tall, straight spine. Now we're going to go into the nose. So slowly looking from side to side, taking your chin and going from shoulder to shoulder with your breath. Inhale one side, exhale the other. You can also change this one up. And you can inhale in the center and exhale to the sides. Inhale to the center. Exhale to the side. Or you can inhale and exhale from side to side. That depends on you and how your breath works for this stretch. And I encourage you to try both ways. Now, as we're doing these stretches, sometimes, like for me, when I do the head and neck one, my sinuses sometimes drain. So just a warning, it's okay if that happens. Nothing weird is happening. You're just releasing pressure on some of your internal systems that, sometimes hold on to things that we don't need. So go ahead and just take a couple more yeses and nos here. And then come back into your neutral seated position, nice tall, straight spine, right? Crown of the head, very much pointed up toward the ceiling. And then we're gonna take our ear to our left shoulder and stretch out through the right side of our neck. So we're just tilting our left ear towards our left shoulder. They don't have to touch. You're dropping your left shoulder away from your ear. So your left ear is actually kind of chasing your shoulder. But let's say straight up. Don't resist the urge to kind of tilt over. Sorry for the sirens if you can hear them. I do live near a hospital. Inhale, bring our head straight back into a neutral position. Exhale, we're going to take it to the other side and just breathe here. Bring your right ear to your right shoulder. Bring your head directly up and just release those shoulders away from your ears. Let's take another big inhale through your nose here. Exhale through your mouth. Seal your lips and take 2 breaths here. Great job. Now go ahead and inhale your shoulders up to your ears and release them back down. Let's do that again, straight up. Inhale your shoulders straight up to your ears, release them down. One more time. Inhale those shoulders up to your ears, release them down. Now this time we're gonna roll our shoulders. So we're gonna inhale, we're gonna take our shoulder blades in the back, almost like you're grabbing a pencil between your shoulder blades. So inhale, grab that pencil, your shoulder blades are nice and low. Inhale, bring them up to your ears and roll them down your front on an exhale. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhale, shoulder blades in the back, roll them up to your ears. Exhale, roll your shoulders down your front. One more time. Inhale, pinch your shoulder blades behind you, roll them up to your ears. Exhale, roll them down your front. Great job. We're going to reverse that motion now, which is going to feel awkward because this roll, for whatever reason, is more comfortable for the human body than the other way. But it's always important to take like an opposite pose when you do one. So we'll start down, right? And we're going to roll the shoulders in the front of our bodies this time, up to our ears, and then pinch your shoulder blades as we exhale down our back. Inhale, up to our ears, bring your shoulders behind you and down your back. Inhale, up to your ears, shoulders behind and down your back. Great job. Go ahead and shimmy that out through your shoulders, release all of that tension, any tension that's coming to your shoulders, and let your shoulders softly drop away from your ears as you return to your neutral seated pose. There we go. Now my head's back. Inhale bring your arms down by your side. If you're sitting towards the ground, go ahead and just drag your fingertips here along the ground if you can touch. If not, that's okay. Maintain that nice, tall, neutral seated position. We're going to inhale our arms up to a T. And then exhale our arms back down by our sides. Inhale your arms up to a T really slowly. Exhale, flip your palms. Bring your arms down by your side. Inhale, flip your palms up toward the ceiling. Arms come up to a T. Exhale, flip your palms to the floor. Exhale, return your arms to your side. And one more time, inhale, flip your palms up towards the ceiling, bring your arms up to a T, straight out from your shoulders. Exhale, flip your palms over, bring your arms back down by your side. Okay, this time we're gonna bring our arms all the way up into the air. If this hurts your shoulders for any reason, don't do it. Come to a T, bring your arms another way, maybe bring them out in front of you. Or just sit here in a nice seated neutral position breathing. That's also yoga. Inhale your arms up into the sky this time, all the way above your head. Turn your palms away from each other and exhale, releasing your arms down by your side. Let your shoulders sink away from your ears. Flip those palms up toward the sky. Inhale, they come up towards one another, like you're going to clap above your head in slow motion. Exhale, turn those palms out and down, releasing them by your sides. One more time. Inhale, flip your palms, bring your arms up into the air. Exhale, flip your palms the other direction, bringing them back down towards the floor. Great job. Go ahead and shimmy that out. This time we're going to inhale our arms up into the sky. And as we release, we're going to twist our body so that our shoulders are kind of moving perpendicular to our hips. You can take your left hand and place it, if you're turning to the right side, you can take your left hand and place it on your knee. Important here is to keep your shoulders still kind of in the same lifted position, right? Still with a straight spine. Don't curve around here. And you're just looking at a 90-degree angle from where you were looking before. Not all the way behind you, just at 90 degrees. And you're going to just stretch and turn here. Stay nice and tall through your center line of your body. Inhale your arms back up into the sky. Turn forward. Release your hands down by your side. Flip your palms up toward the sky. Bring them up into the air one more time. And this time we're going to twist, looking at a 90-degree angle. Bring our shoulders at perpendicular to our hips, or trying to. You can use your left hand, your back hand behind you to kind of, if you've got a pillow behind you, you can put it on the pillow just to kind of increase your ability to stay very tall in this position. And take another couple of breaths here. Inhale, bring your palms up into the sky again. Turn forward, releasing your hands down by your side. And for me, that made all sorts of shoulder pops and noises. I don't know about you, but go ahead and shake it out if you need to. Get some water here. We're going to take that twist one more time here. But this time we're going to look all the way behind us. So let's inhale our arms up into the sky. And this time when we twist, we're going to try to look all the way behind. Now, if this hurts in your body, don't do it. You can look 90 degrees. You can stay in this nice, tall, seated, neutral position. That's fine too. Otherwise, if you're with me, inhale, turn towards the back of the room or directly behind you. Again, using your hand here and twisting from your waist, from your hips, so that your shoulders are perpendicular to your hips, but you're still sitting up nice and tall. Inhale, both arms up into the sky, twist forward, release your arms down by your side. Inhale, flip your palms up, bring them up and towards each other, dropping those shoulders away from your ears. You're going to twist to the left this time, looking over that back shoulder, towards those windows. Stay nice and tall. Wonderful. Inhale, both arms come back up into the air. You're going to twist forward and release your hands down by your side. Go ahead and shake that out. Let that go. And release. We're going to do a couple of seated cat-cows here. So a seated cat-cow, when you're doing a tabletop cat-cow, you're basically like making flexibility happen in your spine. So we're going to do a very similar thing here. We're going to inhale, looking up towards the sky, bring your chin up towards the sky. Exhale, round out your back like you're hugging a beach ball in front of you. Inhale, lift your chin and chest up toward the sky. Exhale, round out through your back. Bring your belly button all the way back into your spine. Inhale, lift up, shoulders come over hips. Exhale, release. Your shoulders still kind of stay over your hips here. It's just like your back rounds out, your hips round back. Inhale. Exhale. Release, like you're hugging a big beach ball. Great job. Come into that neutral seated position. And next we're going to come into an extended leg seated position. And we're going to do a forward fold and we're going to stretch out our toes. Oh, I forgot to stretch out our sides. Let's do that first. Okay. So let's inhale our arms up into the air. Exhale, bring your right arm down to the mat. and stretch over. Keep your left hip grounded as you stretch over, pointing your fingertips to the point where the ceiling meets the wall. And just work on stretching out through that left rib cage. Take some big breaths here. Pushing that left hip down towards the floor, really reaching for that point where the ceiling meets the wall. And bring that right arm back up to meet your left in a neutral seated position with both arms up in the air. Take a big inhale here. Exhale, release those shoulders away from your ears and bring your left hand down to the mat. As you reach with your right hand to the point where the ceiling meets the wall so that you're stretching out from your armpit to your right hip. Take some big breaths here. And then return to a neutral seated position with both arms up in the air. Release those shoulders away from your ears. And now bring your arms down by your side. Great job, everybody. Take one big breath here, and now we're going to come into a seated position with our legs out straight in front of us. We're going to do a couple seated forward folds here, and then we're going to stretch out our feet. Back here. I prefer not to have the pillows underneath me for this particular position, but if you prefer to keep the pillows underneath you, if that helps with your support, great. You can keep your knees bent here, or you can stretch your legs out in front of you. Okay. And kind of remove some of the meat out from underneath your bones so that your bottom of your hip bones are touching the mat there. Keep a nice straight back. Shoulders come away from your ears. Flex your toes. Okay. Inhale, bring your arms up into the air. Reach really high like you're grabbing a beach ball above your head. Exhale with a flat back. You're going to come forward, bending, hinging at the hips. Bringing that beach ball to touch the toes. And release. And we'll do that once again. Inhale. Flexed feet. Reaching up with that beach ball. Exhale. Keep a nice flat back. Keep that core engaged. Reaching forward. Flat back. You're reaching with your chin in your chest. And release. Great job. Let's go ahead. Keep that nice tall flat back. Good posture here. And just point, flex your toes. If you want to inhale and bring your toes in towards you, exhale, point your toes out. However you want to use this moment to kind of stretch your toes and your feet. This is extremely important. I'm actually going to do my hands as well this weekend. This past weekend was 4th of July, and, it's a weekend that kind of threatens the digits, right? I managed to smash my finger doing something. I don't know what, but I'm pretty sure I sprained my finger pretty badly. And it's been a little tough this week, a little bit of pain. So I want to make sure that my fingers are limber and mobile. And as we age, our tiny, tiny bones and tendons around our digits they start to break down a little bit. So the important thing, you can get arthritis and whatnot. So as we age, we definitely want to keep limber in our digits. So in our fingers and toes. So take a moment here to just stretch through your toes and fingers in a way that feels good for you. All right. We're going to come into a hands and knee pose. If you need to, grab some water in between. So like I said, it's kind of a lovely Friday morning here in Michigan, and my neighbors, you might be able to hear them. They're taking their kids out to the pool, I think, today. So, just everybody's busy. And here we are. We're going to take some self-care time for ourselves before we get started. Putting energy into the rest of our day or the rest of our weekend, which is important. All right, let's go ahead and find that nice foundational position here in tabletop. So we're going to create a foundational position by aligning our shoulders directly over our wrists and our hips directly over our knees. We'll keep a nice engaged core. It's easier for me to sit up and talk. So if you want to try it as I'm talking my way through it here, you can go ahead and do that. So I'd like to find the spot on my mat that kind of works for me. I've got some designs and drawings on my mat here, so I can kind of align with that. So if you have something like that going on, give it a shot. And then get your knees directly underneath your hips, engage through your core. Okay? And let's just take a couple of breaths here first. Let the body recognize this position as the foundational position it can return to in tabletop here. So same kind of alignment, right? Like a long spine, crown of the head is pointing forward, not down, okay, but forward. Take some big breaths here. Maybe play around with whether it's more comfortable to tuck your toes. If you've got knee injuries, I was going to show you guys this. Okay, so in tabletop, if you've got some knee injuries or it's uncomfortable to be on your knees for a long period of time, if you've got a big blanket like this, take it and fold it in half. Take the long way over the half. And then just start kind of folding it over on itself. And then fold it again in the middle. And this makes a great pad for your knees. If this is too high for your knees, I would say just, leave it kind of out like that. That might be a little bit better of a cushion without all the height. Sometimes when you get it too high, then your hips can be out of alignment with your knees. So just take a moment, adjust as you need to bring the right level of comfort to yourself in this foundational position. For me, it's always been this one. So I like to practice this way. And then I actually like to put my toes up because it just kind of realigns everything when I'm on the blanket. But whatever way you like to use a prop or a blanket, if it works for you and your body, go for it. I'm going to move that just because it'll get in the way. Okay. So, from your foundational position, couple of breaths here. And we're going to take some cat-cow. So release your belly down towards the ground as you lift your eyes up to the sky. Exhale. Push all of the air out of your lungs, round up through your back, look back towards your knees. Inhale, eyes come up to the ceiling, belly goes down to the ground. Exhale, round out through your spine, push up through your shoulders, look back towards your knees. One more time. Big inhale here, dropping that belly down to the ground, shoulders come away from your ears. Exhale, round through that belly. Round through your back, looking back towards your knees. Great. Come into the neutral tabletop position. Bring your big toes to touch behind you. Bring your knees wide and let your hips release back towards your heels. If you stretch your arms out in front of you and release your upper body towards the ground, and come into child's pose. This is not a comfortable pose for you. That is okay. All right. You can stay lifted here. You can just kind of push back. All right. There's lots of variations here you can play around with. This is a great way to kind of stretch your hips. And if you get overheated or you run out of breath, this is kind of a good stretch you can come into. You can even just come into this kind of lifted child's pose here. And let's come back into that neutral tabletop position. And here we're going to do a bird dog. We're going to kind of break this down into its parts. So the first thing you're going to do is come into that neutral tabletop position. You're going to reach out with your right hand like you're shaking somebody's hand. Reach out with the left foot behind you. Find your stability here. Keep your toes on the ground. So you've got 3 points touching the ground. When you're ready, engage through your core and then lift that left heel up behind you. Make a straight line from the left heel through the right palm. And just hold here. If you're into it, you can crunch. Bring your elbow into your knee. You do not have to do that. You can just stay lifted, stay balanced, and then return it all back down to the mat. And we're going to move it over to the left side. So we're going to reach forward with our left hand, reaching out like you're shaking somebody's hand. Reach back with that right leg. Keep your toes on the ground first. Find your balance. Redistribute your weight. Engage through your core, and then lift that right heel up off the ground toward the ceiling. So your toes should be pointed down, heel up toward the ceiling like you're pressing back with your foot and out with your fingers. And then return the whole thing back down to the ground. Great job. Big toes to touch. Bring your knees wide. Sink your hips back towards your heels. Reach out in front of you. Take a big breath here. and come back into neutral tabletop position. So this time, let's realign ourselves. And this time, we're going to bring our right knee up, or our right foot up, like we're stamping on the ceiling, keeping a nice 90-degree bend in our knee, and redistributing the weight between the rest of our points touching the ground here. So it should be even weight between all the points that are touching the ground. We're just holding our right leg up in the air with the foot flexed foot. Inhale here, exhale, return that leg down to the ground. We're going to do it on the other side. Inhale that foot up into the air like you're stamping on the ceiling. 90-degree bend. Looking forward. Gaze is forward. Redistributing the weight between all the parts that are touching the ground. And releasing back down. Great job. Big toes touch. Hips come back to your heels. Reach out in front of you. Take a nice stretch and breath here. And then come back into a neutral tabletop position. We're going to take one big arm stretch here, and then we're going to move into a standing position. So take your left palm and place it directly below your nose, and then reach up to the ceiling with your right arm so that you're aligning your shoulders over one another. Inhale here, exhale. We're going to scoop our arm underneath us, lowering down. Now, if you've got a block, you can use that here, pillow, anything else. A block and a pillow are really used to bring the ground up to you as you practice yoga. So it's not cheating, okay? It's just helping you build the ability to stretch into the position. So inhaling up, exhaling down, we're going to sweep our arm underneath us. Maybe bring that head down to a block, or to the ground, or to a pillow as we stretch our shoulder underneath us. You're going to use the weight of your body to really emphasize this stretch. And this is called threading the needle. Inhale, lift your arm up into the air, big sweep up, and then return your palm to the mat. We're going to do it on the other side. Inhale, left arm comes up into the air, maybe roll out that wrist. Exhale, sweep that arm underneath us, coming down onto our shoulder, the side of our head, wherever that feels good. Oh man, that feels good. Inhale, bring your arm back up into the air. Exhale, return your palm to your mat. Great job, everyone. Big toes touch, knees come wide, hips come back. Let's do one more child's pose here. And then we're going to come into downward facing dog and into a standing position. Now, if downward facing dog isn't your thing or this transition doesn't work for you, that's fine. You can meet me in a forward fold. I'm standing forward fold here in a moment. Otherwise, come follow along with me. So we're coming from this neutral tabletop position where our shoulders are over our wrists and our hips are over our knees. We're going to tuck our toes under first, and that's going to be important because our toes are going to help lift our hips up into the air. Take one big inhale here and then lift, pushing into the palms of your hands and your toes. First, your hips come way up towards the ceiling. And then start to lower your heels back towards the ground, to the mat. Maybe this is your first downward facing dog ever, of the day, of the week. It's been a while. Take your time to kind of stretch out here. And allow your body to kind of relax into this position. Maybe wiggle your hips from side to side, pedal out your feet, bending your knees in towards the mat. Maybe bend both knees in. So we're going to inhale, we're going to look forward. Exhale, walk your hands to your feet or your feet to your hands, whatever works for you. And exhale here in a forward fold. We're going to stay in this forward fold. We're going to heel toe our feet out a little bit. I'm going to turn this way. Heel toe your feet out so they're a little wider than hips width distance apart. And take your elbows in either hand, allowing the crown of your head to kind of drop towards the floor. You can bend your knees here. And just allow your back and your spine to decompress with a couple of good deep breaths here. really allowing the crown of your head to kind of fall towards the floor. Really letting that stretch happen in your back, your thighs, and your butt. Okay, let's heel toe our feet back together. I'm going to turn back. They don't have to be together, just underneath you. Okay. We're going to inhale for a halfway lift. Nice flat back here, like you're looking over the edge of something. Exhale, release down. Now, when we inhale, we're going to stand up, but we're going to bend our knees and come up one vertebrae at a time, starting with our bottom vertebrae, ending with our head and shoulders. Inhale here. And here we are in a standing position. Great job, everyone. Ooh, that took a while. So we're going to do some balancing poses here. We're going to do some side stretches. And then we're going to come back down onto the ground to end practice on the ground this morning. And who needs a 90-degree yoga studio when you have this room? See, even a gentle stretch can be invigorating under the right conditions. All right, let's talk about alignment here in standing position. So this is our neutral standing position, right? Which is basically, it's mountain pose, right? That's what they call it. It's mountain pose. And really what we're going to do is ground down through our feet first. So we're really finding the earth underneath our feet. So maybe smush your feet around or wiggle your feet around. Maybe lift up your toes and really sink them back down into the ground or into your mat. Take a couple of big breaths here. Release your shoulders away from your ears. And now let's create alignment. So we're going to align our knees over our ankles. Hips are going to come over our knees. And depending on which way your hips kind of tilt, everybody's got a different pelvic tilt. You may need to tilt forward, back, or up. And then align your shoulders over your hips and away from your ears. And we've got arms down by your side for a nice tall mountain pose. Really engage through your core. To hold your shoulders over your hips. Inhale, bring your arms up into the sky. Exhale, release your arms down by your side. Inhale, bring your arms up into the sky. Exhale, release your arms down by your side. Inhale, arms come up to the sky. Exhale, release your arms down by your side. Now, I've just moved, so I got to realign myself a little bit here. Let's inhale, arms up to the sky. Exhale, bring your right arm down by your side. Keep your left arm up and then tilt from your hip, just like we did in seated position, so that you're reaching for that point where the ceiling meets the wall. Maybe you can look up towards your elbow. Keep your shoulders away from your ears as much as possible. Inhale, bring both arms back up into the sky. Exhale, release that left arm down by your side. Reach over your body with the right arm so you're side stretching through your armpit and your rib cage from your hip on your right side this time. Inhale, both arms come back up into the sky. Exhale for a cactus arms. So that's both arms kind of coming into a goalpost formation at a 90-degree angle. Take some big breaths here. Inhale, both arms come up into the sky. Exhale, let's come down into a forward fold. So palms come through heart center. Down into a forward fold and just release. Inhale for a halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, we're going to do that roll up again. Bend your knees, rolling up one vertebrae at a time back into a standing position. Shoulders and head come up last. Great job. Let's take a wide-legged forward fold here. So inhale. Get your nice tall alignment. Exhale, we're going to tilt at the hips. Engage through your core, tilting at the hips. Releasing your upper body forward over your thighs. Looking behind you between your legs. Trying to get your crown of your head down toward the floor. And your tailbone goes up toward the sky. And just take some breaths here. Maybe you can bend into your knees, create some kinetic movement here, back and forth. Maybe ground down through your palms. If you can't reach the ground here, use a block. If you're not reaching the ground, use a block to kind of stabilize your stretch. Don't bounce in this position, but you can move. So you can shift your weight from side to side. Just don't bounce around. And then bring your head back towards the ground. We're going to do the same motion. So we're going to bring our hands to our hips first. Exhale here. Inhale, bend your knees, slowly rising up into a halfway lift first. Exhale here, and then straighten back up into a standing, wide-legged standing position. Go slow because you can get a head push from that. And let's just release that. We're going to take one balance position here. We're going to do, it's warrior three or airplane, one of the two. It's whatever you want to call it this morning. It's going to be a 1 foot balancing position. Okay, so come into your nice tall mountain pose first. Inhale here. Bring your hands to heart center, so palms touching each other in front of your chest. And then draw your kind of left toes across the mat and behind you so that you're propped up on those left toes first. Engage through your core and start to tilt at your hips like one of those birds that teeter into the water that sit on the desk. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about. But you're just going to create a long line of energy from the sole of your left foot through the palms of your hands, straight down your spine as far as you can go. I got my wall behind me. So. Toes on your left foot are coming down towards the ground. Right foot, sorry. So you're just stretching out in front of you. And then return to a neutral standing position, hands at heart center. We're going to try it on the other side. So nice tall standing position. Drag those toes behind you on the mat. Readjust the weight in your foot. Maybe bend that knee. And then just start to tilt. You don't have to go very far. You can stay right here. That's good. If you want to tilt all the way down, create that nice long line of energy. Arms outstretched, maybe arms behind you, maybe arms up by your side. So that's when I don't know which one's A3, which one's airplane. I think that's airplane. Hands come back into heart center as we tilt back up, bringing our feet together. Take a big breath there and shake it out. Shake all that out. Let it all go. We're coming in for the last 20 minutes of class. And for that, we're going to come back down onto the ground. So let's inhale our arms up into the air. We're going to come back into a downward facing dog position. So again, if that's not a comfortable position for you, feel free to leave it out. Skip it, do something different. Inhale your arms up into the sky. Exhale, bring your palms through heart center for a nice forward fold here. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, we're going to walk our hands out on the mat in front of us. Maybe bend your knees. Walk your hands out. And then straighten your knees. Dropping your heels back towards the mat for downward facing dog. Take a big breath here. And then when you're ready, you're going to inhale. Exhale, bring yourself into a plank pose. And hold for one breath. When you're ready, slowly lower yourself down towards the ground. That is very hard to do and talk at the same time, and flip your toes over. Take yourself into a resting position with your stomach on the mat. And just let yourself breathe here. Isn't this wonderful? Just having yourself a rest on the mat. You guys probably can't see my face. I'm still here, I swear. Let's move some of this stuff out of the way as we get ready to work on our cobra. Scooch back here a little bit so you maybe can see me some more. I just feel so good this morning. All right, we're going to take the palms of our hands and bring them directly underneath our shoulders. Bring your chin to the mat, right? If you're resting on your cheek. Take your toes and your feet and whatever else here, back here, your legs, whatever else. And And we're going to zipper this all up, make it one unit. Okay. And then on a big inhale, we'll lift our chest up. And then if you can, bring your hands up off the mat. Exhale here and stay. Press down into your feet, into your hips and your stomach, and release. Back down toward the ground. Release it all. And if you're feeling fancy, you can come into a bow pose or another pose, or you can just take another cobra here, or you can just lay on your stomach and relax. Any of those things are cool. Or you can take Sphinx pose. So you can bring your elbows directly underneath your shoulders. Hands come on the mat in front of you. Legs can spread out in the back, or they can be closer together. That's just up to you. It's my toe ring hitting the ground. It sounds like bones. So your hands and palms can come on the ground in front of you here. And you're just kind of reaching forward with your chest with a microscopic, like reaching back motion so that your elbows are kind of pressing back towards your rib cage and your rib cage is kind of pressing forward towards your elbows for Sphinx pose. It's my favorite pose. And let's go ahead and release that back down. Maybe make a pillow with your hands to bring your head down onto. Take a couple of big breaths here. We're getting ready to come to the last 15 minutes of class. In the last 10 minutes of class, I'm going to give you a little mini meditation as you relax in a resting pose. So let's go ahead and come onto our backs. However you want to get there. Gravity's hurting today. And we can bring ourselves kind of onto our backs with our knees bent here. Right, just kind of align yourself, find that good positioning for you. Arms are down by our sides, knees are bent, feet are flat on the ground. Just take a couple of breaths here, ease into this position. And then let your knees drop from left to right. Left to right. Windshield wiper your knees back and forth. This releases the tension in your back. And then come back into that neutral knees bent position. When you're ready, we're going to take one bridge pose here. So we're going to tuck our shoulders underneath us. Play around with how far your feet are from the bottom of your body, because if you lift up, you don't want your knees to go over your toes. So for me, that means bringing my feet out a little further so that I can lift up a little better. When you're ready, inhale. And then exhale, pushing your hips up into the sky. Take one breath here. Exhale, lower down. Great job. Bring your knees in towards your chest and give yourself a nice big hug. Maybe create a little rocking motion here. Allow your body to roll back and forth a little bit. And then bring the soles of your feet back down to the mat. Let's bring the soles of our feet to touch. Knees come wide for cobbler's pose. You can take a hand and put it on your stomach and a hand and put it on your heart if that feels good for you. Otherwise, you can bring your arms down by your side and along your sides. Again, play around with how far your heels are from the bottom of your body. See how that changes the stretch. We're just going to stay here for a couple of 3 or so breaths. Just relax. When you're ready, take your hands to the outside of your thighs and close your knees like a good book. Once again, bring your knees into your chest. Give yourself a nice big hug. And then lift the soles of your feet up toward the ceiling. So, a couple of things. This is legs up the wall, and we're going to play around with this a little bit. If you can't have straight legs up the wall, that is okay. You can create a nice bend in your knees here if it's more comfortable for you. Be sure your shoulders to the lower back is all flat on the mat. You're not like lifting up in any space. If you are, adjust your legs accordingly. That might mean bring your legs apart from each other, creating a deeper bend in your knees. The whole point here is just to keep your feet above your heart for about 30 seconds to a minute to allow for greater circulation between your feet and the rest of your body. A lot of us as adults continuously stand and we do not get an opportunity to change the circulation in our bodies. This is extremely important to keep swelling and circulation, keep swelling down and circulation up, basically. So I encourage you to try to take this position at least once a day. I try to do it every night before I go to bed. You can also, point flex your toes here. Like I said, bend your knees. The whole point is just to keep your feet up above your heart for about 30 seconds to a minute. The longer you can go, probably the better. Eventually, your legs just get tired. And if you need to, feel free to take this against the wall. The best way to maneuver into this position when you're against the wall is to bring your butt all the way against the wall as far as you can with your legs to the side first. Okay? And then lift your legs up along the wall until you're in a comfortable position. You can also use the wall to support a bent knee position as well as a straight leg position. Inhale, bring your knees back into your chest. Give yourself a nice big hug. Here. Exhale, bring the soles of your feet back down to the ground. Let's go ahead and windshield wiper those knees back and forth one more time. And then coming into this kind of neutral, relaxed position on our back, let's take our right knee and bring it over our right ankle comes over and above our left knee on our left thigh. And you're bending your right knee out from your body at a 90-degree angle, so you're making like a triangle between your legs. And you can stay here, or you have the option to, my alarm's going off. My timer's going off. Sweet. Or you have the option to bring your knee up towards your chest and thread your arms through your legs. Make sure that your back is flat on the ground if you're going to do this. Feet are flexed. Bring your knee in towards your chest. Or any variation of this. So you don't have to have your arms wrapped around your thigh. You can keep your legs up in the air. You can have your legs on the ground. You can kind of push that right knee out if your legs are on the ground. Just create the stretch that your body needs in this position. And when you're ready, bring your knee into your chest first and then release it back down to the ground. Wiggle that around, maybe windshield wiper those knees back and forth one more time. Next, we're going to do it on the left side. So we're going to bring our left foot up in the air and then take our left ankle and put it above our right knee on our right thigh. And then just let your body kind of settle in. For a nice stretch here. Again, work with your body. Find the position that's best for you. So maybe it's just here, but you also have the option to lift that right leg up off the floor, keeping your back flat on the ground, or reaching through. You might have to round up to do that first, but then as you pull back, release your back down to the ground. Now, technically, your shoulders should be on the floor here. I can't quite make that happen as my body line is a little short. So I kind of just release my fingers from being clasped to like open on the back of my thigh, and that helps my shoulders return to the floor. You can go ahead and release that back down to the ground. Release both feet back down to the ground. Windshield wiper those knees from side to side, and then bring your knees in towards each other and give yourselves a nice big hug here. As we're rolling into the last 10 minutes of class here, let's go ahead and roll ourselves up into a tight ball. Take a big inhale here. And on your exhale, just release everything down to the ground. Note about final resting pose, which is what we're about to get into. If you've got your pillows around, use them. Pillows are great. Final resting pose. Yeah, look at that. So much more comfortable. Also, not everybody's like psyched about being in final resting pose in a prone position, you know? So it's okay if you don't want to lay on your back in this position. You can keep your knees up. You can even be on your side for final resting pose. Final resting pose is the pose that you want to take at the end of practice to complete your journey of today's practice. I'm going to sit up to give you your meditation, um, just because it's easier for me, and then I will return to the ground after meditation to wake back up with you guys and finish off practice at the end of class. Okay, sound good? Great. I'm going to take some big sips of water because talking for an hour straight can make you thirsty. Fantastic. All right, I think I'm all right here. Maybe one big sip of coffee. Let's see. And for today's meditation, I'm going to call this the portable meditation, okay? Because it's the one I like to use when I'm in a situation where my anxiety is starting to, be anxious. Or if I'm in a public situation, the whole situation is just getting the best of me and I need to calm down and refocus. This is the meditation I will generally take. So close your eyes if you feel comfortable doing that. Get yourselves into a nice resting position. And we're going to take a couple of deep breaths here. That's always first. Always, always, always take your deep breaths first. So 3 deep breaths. Inhaling through your nose, exhaling through your mouth. You can do it audibly. You can do it quietly. However it feels great for you and your body. I just want you to breathe in some fresh air and exhale some of that crap that's in there. Okay? So big inhale. Big noisy exhale if you're feeling it. Let's do it 2 more times. 1 more time. And then go ahead and seal your mouth shut and take some big inhales and exhales just through your nose with your eyes closed, creating space for nothingness. All right. So we're just going to kind of try to, and I know it's hard. Trust me, I know. We're going to try to clear our head of anything that came before this moment, anything that's coming after this moment. And we're just going to stay in this moment. And in this moment, in your head, you can create your own space, your own universe, your own place to feel comfortable and to create calmness and relaxation and restoration for your body. So take a couple of breaths here. And then go ahead and picture your favorite color or a color that really appeals to you. Maybe I like to use 1 or 2 senses. So, you picture a color. Let's say today mine is going to be green. With that green color, I think about leaves and I think about my herb garden outside. And I think about all the different shades of green that are in my herb garden, okay? And I think about the smells that are associated with that. So try to take your color and associate it with a smell. Sometimes that can be hard. And then just swirl your color around kind of in your mind's eye, your third eye, your imagination, whatever you'd like to call it. Right? Just let that color swirl around like a little universe inside your brain. We're going to open our convertible top that's up here at the crown of our head. Let's just open our little convertible top at the crown of our head and allow our universe to float just inches above your top of your head and swirl around here. With each inhale you take, your universe is going to get brighter. Make your universe brighter. Maybe make it bigger. Maybe make it more swirly. Add some sparkles. And with each exhale, you're going to let go of any darkness and the things that don't serve you in your universe. So negative self-talk, let it go with a breath. So, negative self-talk from others, or negative talk from others, let it go with a breath, because, you don't need that in your life. create a space in which you can be you, the best version of you can be, in this space, in this moment, and in this time. With each inhale, let your universe get larger. And each exhale, you're going to start to move your universe around your body, creating almost like a cocoon for your body of relaxation and restoration. And with each inhale, it grows and gets more sparkly and more, it's the word saturated with color. And with each exhale, we're going to take that universe and we're going to spread it around our forehead, relaxing, bringing relaxation to our forehead, into our eyes, into our ears, into our cheeks, bringing relaxation and restoration to our jaw, to our chin, to our throat, allowing the tongue to fall away from the roof of the mouth. Allow your universe to swirl around your whole head, bringing calmness and restoration. With an inhale and an exhale, let's spread that universe over your shoulders and your arms, and your elbows, and your forearms, your wrists, and your hands. Bringing relaxation into your fingers, one finger at a time, into the thumb and the pointer finger, into your middle finger, your ring finger, and into your pinky. Big inhale and exhale here. Grow your universe. Make it more saturated. Swirl your universe around your upper body, bringing relaxation into your chest and your spine, into your rib cage and your internal organs. Bringing relaxation and restoration through your stomach and your core, and into your belly button and your hips. Bringing calmness and restoration into your hip sockets, into your thighs, into your knees, and into your calves. Spread your calming universe into your ankles and into the tops of your feet, onto the soles of your feet. Bringing that relaxation and restoration into each one of your toes. Your big toe, your second toe, your third toe, your fourth toe, and your pinky toe. Now you've created a moment of relaxation and restoration from the crown of your head through the tips of your toes, completely encompassed with your own calm, relaxation, restoration, restorative, relaxing universe that you created for yourself in this moment. Staying in this moment, staying in your universe, allow yourself a moment to relax and breathe. And as you start to feel the passage of time slipping by, maybe you hear your day calling to you, tugging at the edges of your universe to pay attention. Recall your universe back into your little convertible spot at the top of your head. Suck it all back in like a vacuum and know it's there for you anytime you need it. And let it go. Bring small motions into your toes and into your fingers, into your wrists, your ankles. As you wake yourself back up, take a nice big morning stretch. Bring your arms over your head, pointing out through your toes, stretching your toes as far away from your fingers as you possibly can, and relax. Let that all down. If you're not already there, roll onto one side or another, using your bicep as a pillow for your head. And then when you're ready, go ahead and sit up and meet me in a seated position, like we started class. Bring your hands to heart center, palms together in front of you. Right, nice neutral seated position, nice tall spine again, great posture. Thank you so much for joining me and Comeback Yoga here today. Take a big inhale, the arms sweeping up to the air, bring your palms together, hands to heart center. Again, for you, I say, have an amazing day. Thank you for joining me. Again, go check out comebackyoga.org. That has all their class schedules there. If you check out the Comeback Yoga YouTube channel, there's a variety of classes there that you can share with your friends, family, whatever. Comeback Yoga also has a Facebook page and Instagram page, so check them out on social media. Let's see what else. We're a 501c3 not-for-profit, so if you can, donate. There's a donation tab on their website at comebackyoga.org. I will see you next Friday. Thank you for joining me today. What an amazing day it's going to be. Thanks, y'all, and have a great day.